Hello, I hope you are well. Today I am going to show you some books that I've decided and I want to read before the end of the year. Again, I'm not so stressed about a year finishing and having to finish things by the end of the year. I'm not that type of person. I don't really mind not finishing things by the end of December. It's completely fine. Time is not existing inside brackets. I take month after month. Sometimes, yeah, okay, 30 days. My mind sometimes gets stuck into these 30 days, but I don't care about December or January, okay? So these books I want to read this month and I guess by the end of the year, but it doesn't affect me that much if I don't read them by the end of the year. I'm still gonna be here in January. It's gonna be a quick video because December is usually a little bit hectic and kind of intense because there's family reunions, there's Christmas and all of that, and there's not always that much time to read actually. I guess it's a little bit ambitious, but I'm gonna show you. I've tried to get some really short books, so maybe I can go through all of them. I don't know. The first book I want to read is called Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. But I just see it everywhere on Bookstagram. The cover, I had to buy this cover because I think the new paperback cover in the UK has like a split front cover and there's like a sticker or whatever. So I had to get this second hand, so there's nothing on this paperback. And so this is a little bit on a horror story, I think. I think it's a sapphic love story, but dealing with grief, dealing with changes, because the story is there's one woman coming back from the sea. I think she's been at sea for like a really long period of time, and now she comes back and she's completely different. Something happened and she's just completely different. So apparently it's a story of falling in love, loss, grief, and what life there is in the deep sea. So there's a lot of oceanography images in this, and apparently it's very mysterious, horror, love, probably a bit scary. I mean, this cover, look at this. It's beautiful. It's really not that long, so that's why I picked it up as well. I know this should be read maybe in October or November for like Halloween period because it's horror, but I just feel like I'm gonna really enjoy this month and I'm actually quite excited about it. Second book is also quite short. It is the Penelope, I don't know, by Margaret Atwood. This is part of a series that is called The Myths, and it's a series, it's kind of a short book series about mythology written by different authors. I read Wait by Janet something. I read Wait last month and I really liked it. It's about retelling the myth of Atlas, you know, the guy that carries the universe on his back, and his encounter with Hercules, and that was just really good. So I'm really intrigued reading another volume of this series, and this one is talking obviously about Penelope, you know, Odysseus' wife. So I'm really excited about this. You might know already or not, but I'm a big Greek history nerd and I love retellings about it. So really excited about this. Don't know if you heard of it, but I haven't seen it a lot around on social media, or maybe because it's a bit old. I don't think it's that old. Also, my first book by Margaret Atwood, I never actually read anything from her. I know she's quite big for feminist literature. The next book is also actually kind of a horror story. It's Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric La Rocca. I don't know how you pronounce it. Very excited about this. I have seen this a lot around. I think it was a big buzz on booktube and on bookstagram. It's apparently very weird and I love weird books. So I don't know anything about what's going on inside. I got Waterstone edition that came out with some other stories in it. So it's a little bit in the standard version of the original version of this book that buzzed online. So I got this and I really like I really like it. I'm really intrigued. I don't know much, only that the cover is dope. It's a little bit psychological, I think, and weird, and I don't want to know much else going in. I like weird books. A lot of it is like kind of emails or text messages, and the format is very intriguing. That's why I think I'm gonna enjoy this. Even though it feels a little bit horror again. Maybe that's not really joyful for the holidays, but I don't care. I don't really like joyful books that much, so I'm gonna read this. Next is maybe a little bit more appropriate for the season. It is called A Forest of Wool and Steel by νighтсby, Japanese literature. It's short again. It's taking place in the forest in Japan. It's snowy, it's winter, and it's this kind of a prodigy, I think, or a student learning piano going into this forest, and apparently it's a little bit magical. Some magical thing happened. Probably gonna discover himself in this village in the mountain of Japan. So apparently everything started when there's a hypnotic sound of a piano being tuned in his school, and then it sips into his soul and it transports him into the forest, dark and gleaming. That's around his beloved mountain village. At the moment, he becomes determined to discover more. So there's a sound piano coming out from the forest, and he wants to investigate it. And I really like the cover. It's going to be nice, a bit more season appropriate. The last book is the one that is, I think I'm overestimating myself for that one, because I've got 4 books here, and if I even have the time to read 3 of them this month, it's going to be an accomplishment. So I don't know why I'm doing that to myself, but I just really want to read it. I've been meaning to read that for so long. Yes, you seeing right, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. It is a chunker. That's why I think if I read only this book, that's the only read I'm going to be finishing this month, but I really want to read it. I don't know, I've got the sensation that this is really winter appropriate. I think probably isn't, but I'm just in my mind it is for some reason. And beautiful cover. Waterstone edition, whatever. I'm really intrigued by this. You've probably heard about it a lot online. It's the story of this woman called Addie that make a deal with the devil to live forever. But the problem is that deals with the devil always come with consequences, and the big consequence of her decision is that no one can remember her. So, for example, if you meet someone in a pub, talk to them, as soon as you part, that person is gonna forget everything about you, that anything about the conversation or whatever. If they stop looking at you and walk away, they will never remember you. So she's very alone in the world, probably very old by then. I don't know how long she's been living when the book starts, but I just feel like I'm gonna love this book, and it's gonna make me happy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read it this month. Jeanne, read it. I'm gonna be going to France for the month, so that's why also I'm not gonna be able to bring a lot of books with me. That's why I want them to be quite short, because I might be able to, when I'm in France over Christmas, I might only be able to take 2 books with me, because I only have a carry-on and I don't want to pay for anything else, and I'm gonna have a little bag, so I'm not gonna have space for a lot of books. I'm gonna be reading on my Kindle maybe, but this is so far what I'm gonna be reading. I guess that's the video done. I know it's not extravagant. I've seen a lot of videos on booktube of people showing the huge stack of book they want to read. I am not like this. I am probably not gonna be reading all of them. I have a feeling I could, especially when I'm traveling. I tend to finish books really quickly on the plane, in transportation, all of it. So it's a good thing if I can finish this. My nose is very red because I was outside all day. And it's cold. Anyway, if you're celebrating Christmas, happy Christmas, and I will see you soon. Until then, bisous!